And finally, it's the D-Day, 15th of August, 2026, Osun State governorship election. It's been a long time coming, and today, as we know, it's a lot is jumping off on the ground across Osun State, starting from the capital, Osogbo, and all over all the local government areas in that state. And as we all know, we have talked about this for a while now, and this week in particular, we've highlighted some of the issues that had arisen in relation to this very important election. This is the last off-cycle governorship election before the 2027 general round of polls. And as such, for many people, including the political class and indeed the umpire INEC, this is as important as elections come. But what are some of the issues? Well, first of all, you look at a number of contestants. We're doing about 15 in that regard. You have quite a number of political parties who have fielded candidates. And of course, INEC before today had said, look, we have never been more prepared to put this exercise on the road. And finally, that opportunity for INEC to prove itself is here, and it's also a chance for citizens, especially the voting public, to take a second look at our electoral process and by extension our democracy. At the end of this poll, just before the 2027 general round of elections, Nigerians will have to ask, are we advancing democracy or are we simply performing electoral rituals? I'm Uyi Agmofwegbe, and there has never been a better time to say welcome to the special coverage of Osun State Governorship Election 2026 here on Skyline News. We are live in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. In the middle of all this, my colleague Moreno Haniel will be joining me as well, and together we'll drive this conversation for the next handful of hours. And right in between, we will host a couple of analysts who understand these issues, who have also followed elections since 1999. Some of them have been part of elections in Osun State, whether it was the one that Oyetola, the former governor, won, or the one that Ademola Jackson Adeleke, the incumbent governor, won in 2022. We'll be joined by a handful of our colleagues on the ground in Osun State to give us a pulse of how this whole exercise is going on the ground right there. It's an amazing time. It's historical for, first, the good people of the great state of Osun, and it is, of course, for Nigeria's democracy. We're hearing that at some polling units, a lot is happening already in terms of all of those issues around verification, accreditation, and then pockets of, if you like, irregularities in some places, delay in supply or distribution of materials required for the exercise. But it's still a bit early in the day, so let's be upbeat, keep our fingers crossed, and look forward to the best of outcome today. But just to, again, run you through some of the big highlights, President Bola Tinubu, who has a horse in this race in the person of Mr. Oyebamiji, the governorship candidate of the APC in this election, has said that, look, a couple of things must happen today and going forward. First of all, this exercise must be free, fair, transparent, and credible. And second, he says it has to be such that is conducted in an atmosphere that is secure and free of rancor. So apparently marching orders have been given to security agencies. And talking about security in this regard, we realize that thousands of them, boots on the ground, as they say, whether it is the Nigeria Police Force or the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, you have such a huge, as it were, deployment, of security operatives on the ground there. We understand the DSS is on the ground. Of course, the FCC had long said it will also disperse its men in this regard. Again, that brings to mind one of the several monsters hunting and taunting our electoral process, which is vote buying. This morning, for example, the Punch newspaper is reporting that there's now what it calls, again, allegedly, the 20,000 naira vote buying war between the APC and the Accord Party. That's the party of the governor in the state. All right, you can read up that story with its details on the front page of the Punch newspaper today. But again, that's to say that this election is already highlighting some of the issues that we all have been concerned about regarding electoral process, because there is a very fundamental, if you like, fusion between elections, the way they are conducted, and of course, whether or not our democracy advances. And once again, this is a reminder that, look, this particular election will speak to whether or not, as a country, as a people, and indeed as a democracy, we are ready to move forward with this choice of governance that we have chosen. Welcome on board. Thank you for joining us here. This is Skyline News in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. We're taking a break. When we return, we'll begin with looking at headlines from today's newspapers, just to give you an idea as to what's going on regarding this election, because as it stands today, this is the biggest event in our country yet.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
And now we're turning our attention to the papers for you this morning. As you can already be rest assured, we have so much of headlines focused on the election in Osun State today. Of course, as expected, there are also other stories, including the president now saying that, look, Nigeria has never been more ready for diaspora capital. And that's a way of saying that, look, we need more investments in our economy, because the Tinubu government has said time and again that the goal for the economy ultimately is to hit a $1 trillion mark by 2030, which is quite ambitious. But the president says, look, it is doable if we set our minds on it. But let's leave that aside for a second and focus on what is right in front of us, which is the election in Osun State. All right. When you look at the top right there, it says how Governor Abdul Razak restored glory of primary basic education, took public schools to world stage. That's on the Vanguard newspaper, where we are taking off from on this segment of the program. The next to that has a kicker, 2027. Atiku asks courts to disqualify Tinubu over names certificate controversy. Quite an interesting development on that front. The vice president himself was at the courts, the Federal High Court, that is in Abuja, yesterday. He said he wanted to put some authority to it so that INEC will be compelled once again to provide documentary evidence of President Tinubu's academic credentials to the court. He says, look, you can't resolve this issue on the pages of social media. It has to be one where we find closure based on a court decision. So he had to personally be in court yesterday with his lawyer. We also understand that there's another member of the ADC who happens to be a lawyer now pushing the same matter on the foreign scene, which is talking about the EU. So former Vice President Atiku and his team wants the European Union to intervene in this matter. We can't just stand here and assume the feasibility of that, but it just shows that the opposition is not backing down anytime soon in terms of giving the government of the day a run for its money. All right. The one here says Westerhoff writes Tinubu fans, ex-internationals call for overhaul of NFF board. Westerhoff had once coached the Nigerian male senior team, that's the Super Eagles, all right? So now he has written the president. The question is, what is the content of that letter? And as lawyers will say, what are his prayers? All right, but you can read up details for insights on page 18 of the Saturday Vanguard, all right? You take it down a little here. Again, that's the big one. The kicker reads, as Osun votes today, will bread rice money determine winner, right? 5 riders with it. Money will influence outcome. That's stakeholders there sharing their thoughts. Parties transferring 20,000, 10,000, 5,000 naira. Okay. Violence, thuggery, hate speech take center stage. Politicians desert homes. Competence, credibility will matter. Ex-lawmaker, yes, of course, to matter and should matter. I'll probe political violence. Adeleke, the incumbent governor, who is also a horse in the race, so to speak, they're talking. APC raises alarm over alleged importation of thugs into government house. Adeleke's camp to security agencies: be neutral, professional. Yes, a word they say is enough for the wise. What's more here? NIMR crisis deepens as research professors face premature retirement. On page 13 is where you find details of the headline. Olu of Warri's 5th coronation anniversary begins with praise singing. You have a picture of the revered monarch there, and the story has its details on page 6. Enugu bursts criminal syndicates, police nab kidnap suspects. All right, on page 7, how Chubaba Teni orders honored Daddy Shoki at 50 years on stage concerts. On page 16. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, 50 years, no joke. So that would mean since 1976. Where were you? All right, just teasing. Okay, so those are all the headlines we have from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. As always, we urge you to read up details for yourself. Very important. All right, so let's move on to the next paper, the Weekend Trust. All right, 3 headlines just immediately below the name mast for you. We'll look at the one at top left of it. It says, I run and jump like an 18-year-old General John Atom Bera. Is the one who is saying that. Did I hear you say, here comes a man blessed with some amazing genes? All right, 2027, can opposition unite? We'll find out. The G100 ought to have their, well, if you like, sort of engagement on Tuesday, the 18th of August. But by middle of yesterday, we had been told officially that that event has now been shifted to sometime later in the month. But the whole idea is we hear top opposition figures want to take a look at the feasibility of coming together, forming a single front or a united front, and then pushing harder, maybe a little harder, against the ruling APC at the polls in 2027. Over 40,000 security personnel in Osun as election holds today on page 29. And then there's the big one here, my life in captivity, Justice Bunza. I trekked for about 25 kilometers barefooted. That's quite significant to read. All right, it's a very it's a spectacular coverage today on the Weekend Trust. Okay, mother, 2 children die in Kaduna building collapse. Apparently, it's a pathetic story that has its details on page 23 of the Weekend Trust. So please, again, you've got to read up those details for yourself, all right, and stay abreast with what's happening around you. Okay, Saturday, the gentleman's wife, they're speaking. The gentleman's wife, they're speaking. Ex-Cambridge youngest black prof dies amid plagiarism scandal. sorts of very pathetic story on page 26. Lakurawa terrorists kill 4 soldiers in Sokoto. We understand that they invaded a community in Sokoto, northwest Nigeria, killing 4 soldiers and, of course, leaving so much of mayhem in the wake of it. Lastly, Tinubu dragged to court EU over INEC documents. This is not the first time Atiku Abubakar, Nigeria's former vice president, is making this move. But will he succeed now? Will there be any difference regarding this effort this time? We wait to see, but those are all the headlines from your weekend trust. But let's look at the Saturday Sun for you, where the sun shines brighter. All right, we just begin with the big ones here. It says decision day in Osun. Adeleke, Oyebamiji, Salam, 11 others fight for governorship seats. Tinubu to INEC security agencies, protect votes, ensure credible poll. Police deploy air drone units ashore of security as fear persists over violence, vote buying. All right, so you read up, quite an extensive read, by the way, on pages 3, 22, and 23. What's more, 2027, Atiku in court wants Tinubu disqualified, very categorical. 2 riders with it. Alleges president's NYC certificate was forged. Now, just a bit of context real quick. We're hearing that what he had submitted to INEC the first time, he reads Tinubu Adekunle, and then you have the other one. You have his names officially reading Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, Mr. Atiku and his team want this to be looked at, to say, look, there's some sort of appreciable discrepancy between what he has submitted to INEC and what we officially have on record as the president's name. Of course, as expected, the APC has jumped right on it. As a matter of fact, the national secretary of the party, Senator Basiru, has said that, look, Mr. Atiku is afraid to go to the polls with the president. He knows he's going to lose again as he had lost previously. Therefore, he's looking for shortcuts to power. He says, look, there are no shortcuts to power. But again, it's a brilliant thing that the former vice president, his party, and his entire team are in court now. The best man will win, hopefully and ultimately. Okay, what more do we have here? It says, once INEC compelled to probe or produce Tinubu's 2023-2027 credentials. So apparently the whole idea is to say, let's compare and contrast, as they say. What did he submit in 2023? How does that in any way and to whatever extent differ from what he has submitted for his 2027 run or rerun? All right. No regrets having children at young age. That's Tana Delana. One man meets, another man's poison, they say. Those are the headlines we are featuring from the Saturday Sun this morning for you. Our next port of call is The Nation newspaper. Top left corner, it says police arrests suspects over alleged plot to kidnap bishop's wives in Plateau. That was a very proactive move. Right, it says NAB 6 suspected kidnappers dismantled hideout in Kaduna. Top right corner, there's a headline, NUPRC, all right, that's the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Mars swap of petroleum to deepen domestic supply. Details await you on page 29. Then the big one, Osun election, it's APC's Oyebamiji versus Adeleke. So even though we have about 14 candidates in this election race, then almost half a dozen riders accompanied the headline this morning. APC raises the alarm over plot to disrupt election in 2 local government areas. Police reiterates ban on Amotekun, non-state actors. PDP not part of governorship election, says INEC. All right, so that's where you see the discrepancy between 14 candidates and 15 candidates. So INEC is officially now saying on the record that, look, the People's Democratic Party is not in this race. Therefore, it leaves you with 14 candidates. But as they say, we move. But read up details on pages 5, 6, and 21. All right? And then you come further down, you see the 3 what people have considered major candidates in this race. Demola Adeleke of the Accord Party, who is the incumbent governor, and then Bola Oyebamiji of the All Progressives Congress, and then lastly you have Najim Salam of the African Democratic Congress. 2027, Atiku files suit to disqualify Tinubu over NYSC certificate. 19-year-old bride allegedly poisons husband 6 weeks after wedding. I wonder if the station will never end. Again, that's pathetic now, apparently, isn't it? On page 2, federal government earmarks 33,000 hectares for livestock settlements in FCT. Moves to end cattle rearing in Abuja, or cattle roaming. There's an upgrade in the nomenclature now. It has a picture of the Minister of Livestock right there. Okay, those are all the headlines coming through on the Nation newspaper today. But we have a little extra to bring your way, and this time it happens to be This Day newspaper. Just immediately above the name mast here, it reads, 2027 election gets murky. Atiku goes to court, seeks to stop Tinubu from contesting. Okay. Augusto withdraws Geregu's A rating after 40 billion naira bond defaults on page 16. All right. Then here, one of the big headlines featured on the front page, IBB, no successful coup in Nigeria without civilian backing. That appears like food for thought, really. Recalls General Vasta's denial before inquiry linked him to 1985 coup plot. Two-horse race, Adeleke Oyebamiji in fierce battle for Osun governorship. Tinubu to INEC security agencies ensure peaceful, transparent election. PDP APM candidates step down for Adeleke. Police denounce 42-hour movement restriction. Let ballot, not violence, decide. IPCR declares. All right, not so much on the This Day newspaper this morning, but those are the headlines we have for you. The whole idea is just to motivate you long enough to read up those details and avoid fake news. Let's also look at the Saturday Telegraph, our penultimate paper, by the way, on this segment of the program. Top left corner, alleged cover-up, pilot doctored black box after botched Asaba landing. That's according to NSIB, the agency of government responsible for accident investigation. All right. Raises the alarm over trend of pilots destroying flight data out of fear of sanctions. That's a very dangerous place to be for not just the aviation sector, but for the flying public as well. This must be tackled as early as yesterday morning. Details on page 5. 6 years on, it says Burma boys twice, Burna's boy twice as tall, surpasses 2 billion streams globally. Indeed, twice as tall for a reason. All right, so you can read up those details on page 8. The big one, Osun decides, police deploy drones, 30 mobile units, restrict vehicular movement. 15,310 additional security personnel sent to state as anxiety mounts. Force warns Amotekun, CJTF, vigilante groups, hunters to steer clear. INEC unveils downloadable PVCs for stolen cards. EU SDGN raises concerns over results transmission. Tinubu charges security agencies to protect votes, INEC officials. Atiku challenges Tinubu's qualification for 2027 elections. Asks INEC to produce President's Form CF001. Alleges President submitted NYC discharge certificates bearing Tinubu Bola Adeleke. Yeah, that's the fulcrum, as I say, the very basis for this legal matter that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has initiated against the incumbent governor, president, I should say, of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. NUPRC plans crude swap to boost local refineries, cuts costs. Says 3.7 million barrels of 53.7 barrels supplied to local refineries in the second quarter of 2026. Gunmen intercept 18-seater bus, abduct 17 travelers in Benue. And finally, NLC, ITUC, kleptocracy is war against Nigerians, of course. That's on page 5. Read up the Saturday Independent, I should say the Saturday Leadership Telegraph today. Okay, and find more details for yourself. And lastly, The Guardian is where we are going to dock on this segment of the program. All right, top left, it says Nigerians will support the party with proven capacity to deliver good governance in 2027. That's Amao. Abuja at 50. Wike remember institutions' legacy. And then the big one, Osun poll, can federal hawks crush Ede doors? Tinubu charges INEC to ensure credible election. Uriwa demands strict neutrality from INEC security agencies. Odeyemi Ajishafe raised alarm over alleged missing ballot papers. Olurode predicts peaceful election. And then we have about 5 more, even 6 headlines. Sokoto UNICEF unveiled 10-year climate resilient education plan. Tinubu woos diaspora capital, says Nigeria now ready for investment. Nigeria, US conclude talks to deepen counter-terrorism cooperation. A private capital policy reforms key to achieving Nigeria's $1 trillion economy target. That's according to experts. And on the foot of the front page, it says family associates celebrate Herbert Wigwe's legacy of banking, nation building on page 35. And those are all the headlines coming through from these papers we have brought to your way today. And please make it, a matter of priority to read up details and stay informed and, of course, stay ahead of the news. Remember, too, the Skyline News has no contribution to these papers. We bring them to you exactly as published by their respective publishers. The rest of this special coverage of Osun governorship election here on Skyline News now continues.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
We deeply appreciate you for staying with us on this special coverage of Osun State governorship election 2026. Osun has been on the news for quite a long time, but today is the D-Day, obviously, and that special event has apparently started. Even though on the one hand we hear that it's a two-horse race, we know for a fact that there are several other parties who have thrown their hats, in a manner of speaking, on the ring right now. Some of them, people say, well, underdog political parties, but the question is there any such thing as underdog as it stands today? But the question on the lips of many people is, will this process be fair? Will it be free? Will it be transparent? Will it be credible? INEC says yes, it will be all four of these things and even more. On his part, the president says two things we must achieve with this election is, first, to ensure it is secure, second, to make it as credible as it can get. And what makes this particular electoral exercise very spectacular, amongst other considerations, is the fact that it is the very last off-cycle governorship election before 2027. So it is going to be the basis upon which INEC, as the umpire, for instance, will be assessed, or if you like, ranked. And of course, it will also be an indictment or maybe pass mark for our democracy, a democracy that we practiced for 27 years and counting. Today, for example, we understand there are observers, there are monitors on the ground who are watching keenly to see how this whole exercise unfolds. And again, we'll be seeing briefings coming out from Osun State in the course of this special coverage. We understand Yaga Africa, for example, is on the ground, and several other election monitoring entities, including the the Transition Monitoring Group, the TMG, and several other of such outfits. So it simply goes to show that this election is indeed of public interest, and as such will go a long way in helping to evaluate the health of our democracy as a country. But what do we say about allegations coming out of Osun now, claiming that, well, there are instances of vote buying, particularly reportedly so between the All Progressives Congress, which is by many, if you like, considerations or measurements, the frontline opposition party in this election, and the Accord Party, which is the platform of the incumbent governor, Ademola Jackson Adeleke. If you look at the news today, there's also some report that David Adeleke, popularly called Davido, the Afrobeat star, is also alleging now that soldiers had prevented him. Some other version of the story says is security agencies, well, quote and unquote, that have prevented him or blocked him from coming into Osun. Of course, Osun is his home state. The incumbent governor, Ademola Adeleke of the Accord Party, is his uncle. We saw him a few days ago in the course of this week where he went to campaign for him, and he said quite a number of things regarding past elections. And today, this is the third where Mr. Adeleke is contesting. In 2018, he lost to Oyetola, Adegboyega Oyetola of the APC, who now today is the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy. However, 4 years down the line, in 2022, he won again, the same gentleman, and that's made, well, Mr. Oyetola a one-term governor, even though we are not clear if going forward he's going to have to contest or recontest election for the office of the governor in Osun. So for a man like Adeleke, it is almost like, if you like, a test, a litmus test for him, because he is ambitious to return to office for a second term, but to appear now that the forces against him, politically speaking, are stronger, maybe far stronger than what he had seen in 2022. But he says, look, when all of this is said and done, when the dust settles and I win this re-election, I will probe electoral violence. But again, it's not too early to be making such statements and advancing this kind of rhetorics, given that politicians can say one thing at breakfast time and a different opinion will emerge from the same source by lunchtime. So why don't we patiently wait to see how this election turns out? Because we know what politicians usually do by the time they carry the day or win any electoral contest. They say, well, God has given us victory. The process was free, fair, transparent, and credible. We are now extending the olive branch to our friends in the other parties to come join us to move our state or our country forward. But again, let's be clear. This also, as an electoral process, will test whether or not we are patriotic. It will also test whether or not we have improved in the way we conduct elections in the state, especially given that the last gubernatorial election of cycle, that is, before now, was in Ekiti, and we saw the controversies, all right, that trailed that election. Are we going to reinvent the wheel? Are we going to allow history in this regard repeat itself? Or are we going to say, hey, look, enough is enough. We need to start finding a way out of the woods. And as such, every stakeholder will put in the work to ensure that we put our best foot forward. This is not just about a handful of politicians in Osun or anywhere in this country. It is about the future of Nigeria and indeed the health of our democracy as a country. This morning, we'll be joined by a handful of people to help us look at some of these issues. As a matter of fact, one of our guests to help us analyze these issues this morning in the course of this special coverage is a lawyer who was also involved in the litigation around the freeze that had been placed on one of Osun State's statutory accounts, which of course gave rise to the president intervening and saying that, look, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the agency of government that had made that move, must as quickly as possible get right back to court and lift that freeze. And as they say, the rest is history. However, it appears to have left some kind of dent, all right, on the ruling APC, and it has influenced to a large extent the sentiments of the public, saying that, look, even if such a move ought to be made by the EFCC, how about the timeliness or otherwise of it? And that much the president also alluded to, saying that he felt very embarrassed given the timeliness, even though he was not out to stop the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission from carrying out its work within the ambit of its mandate. Well, those are some of the very big events, very significant events, some of them very radical, that have shaped this election so far. We'll be looking at them. Of course, we'll be turning to the field right on the ground in Osun, where we have our team as well, who will be, a few colleagues who will be looking at this development for us and helping us to understand what exactly is happening there and how it is, again, shaping what we are seeing today. And of course, as is always the case with electoral process, especially given that it's a governorship election off cycle, results will start pouring in much later today, and we'll make sure that we're also bringing you the numbers as INEC releases them. And just to let our viewers know that please, the official, accredited, and authoritative or authorized, the only authorized source of election results in any election, including in the one happening in Osun today, is INEC. So any results that do not emanate from the Independent National Electoral Commission, it means that, well, they can be questioned. So please don't rely on results on social media. Bank on results coming out from INEC. INEC has said that, look, we are going to ensure that we deploy as much resources as are required for this election, especially given that we know the outcome of it is as important as the process itself. So for INEC, it's a task that is end-to-end, and it places a lot of demand on the Commission and all of its affiliates. Of course, INEC, as always, will also be working with transport companies in terms of distributing materials, security agencies, civil society organizations, and several other groups within the civic space to ensure that it becomes an all-inclusive process going forward. And now time to take a break. When we return, so much more to look at regarding this Osun state governorship election today. I'm Uyagmofwebe. Please do stay with us.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on NightComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Just here
What's
on this special coverage, and of course it's a delight to know that you're spending a part of your weekend with us. Obviously, all eyes are on Osun State, given this special quote-unquote election that's happening there today. My colleague Moreno Haniel is on the program now, and of course, as always, it's a delight to have you here.
Thank you so much, Uri. Thank you. I arrived late because Osun State is...
I thought you wanted to say you were in Osun, so you had to...
No, I wasn't in Osun.
Okay.
Coincidentally, Osun State, I'll not forget this day, Osun State election came, and my twin babies came this morning. So
can we say you have two governors now already?
Yes,
Since this is a governorship election.
Yes, so two of them maybe first female governors.
Congratulations to Grandma of Governors.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Uyi. It's a very beautiful day, and everyone is talking about the Osun election. And so far, it's going on peacefully. It's going on peacefully. Soon there'll be footages.
Right.
It's going on peacefully, and no violence, despite the fact that people are calling for the head of Senator Fadaunsi. As at yesterday, people are still talking, calling for his head. You know, everywhere we went, it was the same talk. But with all that, people have put that aside, and the elections are going on so peacefully.
Right.
Registrations are on now, so like I always say, we can only hope that it continues till the end and we see the results peacefully.
Right.
But it seems the people are really backing. I wouldn't conclude, but from popular opinions, you know, that we've gathered, it's like the people in the States are really gunning for Adeleke, saying he has done so much, and they are praying for him to continue, while others are saying he should give others a chance, talking about the
Oyebamiji of the APC, for example.
Not Oyebamiji.
The other gentleman, Najim. Of the ADC.
Yes, saying the APC, they are the serving power right now. So they are hoping that Najim should be given an opportunity since they've not seen their hands in there. So far, it's just the three of them now that are the major contestants.
The frontliners.
Yes.
Interesting. That's one of the dynamics of election and the ballots, right? On the one hand, people say, well, the incumbent governor, Mr. Adeleke, has been fantastic. He has done a lot of work, infrastructure, the economy, health, education, and what have you, right? Which is a good thing. But then you flip to the other side, they say, well, there's no better time to have a change in government because we have not seen what this governor has done. All it does is down. But you see, people can say all of these things either because they have concrete evidence to back up or support what they're saying, or because they've just been emotional and being parochial, so to say. However, when you now go to the poll, then you determine whether or not it was Uyi, or is Uyi that has done well and as such deserves a second term, or is Moreno who needs to come in with fresh ideas to drive the state beyond where it is at the moment. You see, that's why it's called democracy. But the interesting thing with this one is that Mr. Adeleke had contested in 2018 and he lost. But then again, by 2022, he won. And now he says, well, we're not done. The Constitution allows me to run for a second term. And I'm not going to throw that card out the window just yet. So I'm going to make the most of it. And on the news today, he's saying that, look, I will probe electoral violence. So that gives you an insight into the mind of a man who believes very strongly that he will win. But who doesn't believe they will win? All the candidates, all 14 of them, believe that they will win. And that's why we say, may the best man win. But you see, we must also now look beyond the process and outcome associated with this Osun election to ask ourselves, what exactly is the health status, so to say, of our democracy? Are we making progress as a country? Are we, like I asked at the top of the show this morning, are we advancing our democratic values or our democracy altogether? Or are we just having or performing a cycle of electoral rituals? Because, let's backtrack a little. Just a few months ago, there was also a governorship election off-grid in Ekiti. We saw what happened, all of that. And then just in 2024, we saw 3 off-cycle gubernatorial elections. There was one in Kogi, there was one in Imo, there was another one in Bayelsa, all 3 of them on the same day. Now, these are 5. I've just counted off the top of my head. And then in between, in 2024, you also had Edo State's governorship election off-cycle. So that's half a dozen of them. When we look at this string of elections, can we say we have improved from one to another in terms of how we conduct? In other words, do we do a post-mortem of some kind to say, look, we've done one now in Bayelsa, we've done another one in Kogi, we've done yet a third one in Imo, all on the same weekend. And then we moved on to do yet a 4th one in Edo. Did we improve in Edo on the basis of what we have seen in the previous 3 exercises that were conducted on the same Saturday? I don't know if you're following.
Yes.
So if that's the case, it means that we are intentional enough to know that, okay, these are the areas where we need to plug the gaps and so on and so forth. If we're not doing that, if we're doing anything short of that, it means we're blinking in the dark.
I think our democracy has, when it's like when a child is growing, he makes some blunders and everyone just laughs over it. But the child gets to a particular age that when he does it, he's reprimanded because you're not expected to act like that. We have come a long way in our democracy that there are some mistakes we are not supposed to make. Unfortunately, it's like we keep repeating them over and over again. And the citizens, honestly, a lot of Nigerians are yet to trust INEC.
And that's a big problem.
Yes, are yet to trust them because one of the mistakes is the hate speech. I don't know why when it comes close to election, it's on the increase. We have not curtailed that. We have not come out to really look into that and say, okay, if you do that, you're going to be reprimanded. And then there's this sharing of food and flimsy
even long
things.
Before the election day.
Yes, and these things, Nigeria has grown to an extent that we should not be bribed with flimsy things that don't last even
Right.
24 hours. You know, you see videos of people sharing monies and there's a long queue and sometimes just t-shirts. I heard in somewhere in Yobe State, it was a measure of rice. You know, these things should not happen in our democracy. Then our INEC should have grown to an extent that when it says it's A, it's A. Not we, the citizens should not just take it hook, line, and sinker because, okay, we don't have a choice. But they should take it hook, line, and sinker because INEC has conducted it very fairly, you know. So that's why I'll say, when it comes to our democracy in Nigeria, we don't really reflect back. Maybe we reflect back immediately, but we don't do anything. We don't take measures. I've not seen enough measures taken to curtail these mistakes that have repeated over and over. We can go on and on with the mistakes, you know, because as at now, why I see people don't trust the INEC is because it seems there's still a lot of rare experiences of Nigerians, a lot of corruption going in. Okay, it's this one, then they go to court and they find out that this local government was not counted properly. You understand? They're still running away with ballot boxes. I mean, these things are not supposed to be found. They have not been curtailed up till now. So when you say, have we grown? I don't think we have. We are still repeating the same mistakes since 20 years ago when we got our democracy. We are still repeating it over and over. I will always say we can only be hopeful that government will come in and put these things in place. You know, Femi Kuti was saying the other time, don't blame Tinubu.
Altogether.
Don't blame him. Blame the judiciary.
The process that throws up leaders in Nigeria.
Yes, because they don't hold people responsible for their action, especially when it comes to corrupt cases. And these people end up being our leaders. So we're looking up to them. Oh, he's told he was not reprimanded, so I can decide to do it and get promoted rather. You know, so these are the people that form these things and you go to some states, you see, Commissioner for Education has done nothing, doesn't have, maybe studied banking and finance.
But he's heading education at the level of the states.
You know, so this kind of practices, I think Adamawa State tried in that particular aspect.
Maybe to change the narrative.
Yeah, change the narrative. Tried. So there was a lot of improvement for a while in that state, you know. So, but Nigeria as a whole, you know, we've not gone back to say, this is our mistake, especially when it comes to election. And we have corrected it, you know, so we can only hope.
Of course, we can only hope. Well, time to have a break at this point in time where we're hoping that Nigeria advances its democratic fronts altogether. When we return, we'll be engaging beyond these points here on the program. Please do stay with us.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Night Comsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Well, I'm beginning to feel a pulse of what's happening now on the ground in Osun State. INEC and its agents doing their thing, rolling out, the materials required for all of this exercise today. So shortly, voting will commence in earnest. And then, on the other hand, we have security men, operatives, if you like, who are already also doing their bit just to ensure that, as the president has said, this exercise is credible and conducted in an atmosphere that is secure. It's interesting how that in Nigeria, the president has to give marching orders for everything. The president is the one who tells the IG of police, you have to go after certain criminals. He's the one who tells the leadership of defense and intelligence, you have to fight insecurity, you have to fight banditry and insurgency. He's the one who tells INEC, this election must be free, fair, transparent, and credible. Is the one who tells the politicians themselves, you have to conduct yourselves in the best manner possible. What's going on here?
I will disagree with you on that.
Why?
He's just giving everyone a charge to take responsibility. You know?
But does he have to? I mean, without him saying all of this, okay, first of all, this is just to give you a bit of an insight into what's happening on the ground. This is like a crowd of policemen, one of the commissioners of police deployed by the IG to Osun for this election. You can see observers with their branded jackets, blue in color, by the way, in the States, just to give you a picture of what's happening. Apparently, this is a rural area in the States, but you can tell there's a very appreciable police presence there as well, voting quite, intensive already. And that's the governor, Ademola Adeleke, there, the candidate of the Accord Party, apparently sharing his thoughts on today's exercise. We'll continue to follow all of these events as they unfold for you. Hopefully we can have sound at this point.
People can perform their side so that they can It's a college student in London. He's here in Eden hiding. His own job is to come and destroy Eden and then avoid so that they can scare people, shooting so that they will not vote. So I'm calling the Inspector General of Police to take note. I'm calling all the security agencies to take note. They should deploy him. We don't want him in Osun. We don't want violence in Osun. All we want is free and fair election so that people can perform their civic duty. That's one. And two, the pattern of issue that there is one police officer that can be brought to an active job, the APC Osun, from Port Harcourt. Is a college student in London. He's here in Eden hiding. His own job is to come and destroy Eden and then avoid so that he can scare people, shooting so that they will not vote. So I'm calling the Inspector General of Police to take note. I'm calling all the security agencies to take note. They should deploy him. We don't want him in Osun. We don't want violence in Osun. So that people can perform their civic duty. That's one. And two, the pattern of voting should be from units to wards and to local government. Not that they take local government collation straight to state capital. That is not acceptable. That's a form of wickedness. And I urge on the authority that the ABC trying to read have some fake ballot papers. I want us to watch out for that. And then we don't accept. Well, I will not accept that in Osun. Right now, as I'm voting right now, I've just received a call in Modakeke and Obado that police is aiding them to tear gas them so that people can run away. And people are resolute. They just want to perform their civic duty. Let the security agency please be neutral and watch it. But I can assure you, at the end of the day, I have God on my side and I have my people on my side. I'm going to win.
Your Excellency, you have just voted. The process has just begun. What's your assessment?
I've already told you. I said so far so good. It is peaceful. In my area here, I hope it's like that cut across. But it's not peaceful in Modakeke and of course in Obado. The police are aiding the APC to tear gas people so that they will not vote. They took the ballot box around the way. So we have already reported this to the security agencies. I hope they do something so that it will not turn Osun State into war zone. Thank you very much.
Evidently, that was Governor Ademola Jackson Adeleke, Ikimben Governor of Osun State, who doubles as the flag bearer in this election for Accord Party. The governor had seen more than a fair share of pressure, if you like, tension too. Before this election, the governor had been a member of the People's Democratic Party. As a matter of fact, that was the platform on which he had won his election 4 years ago. That was in 2022. Again, he had contested on that same platform in 2018. However, the PDP today, by many estimations, has become a house divided against itself, with at least two major factions now claiming leadership of that party. So for someone like Governor Adeleke, at the twilight of campaign and all of the hula balu, as they say, around the election in Osun, he had no other choice than to look for an alternative. Some people speculate that he had tried with the APC, but he hit a brick wall. So he had to quickly seek contingency, and eventually now is in bed, so to say, with Accord Party. So again, this is a factor many people say will shape the outcome of this election, because by some analysis that we've seen so far, they say the governor himself, even though he is the leader of the ruling party, which is Accord Party in Osun State, is technically an opposition candidate, given that the APC at the federal level is the government of the day, and the president has his horse, for want of better words, also in this race. But this is just unfolding, so we are going to continue to keep an eye out for you to see what happens in the next couple of hours, and ultimately hear from INEC, because we are sure by dinner time, worst case scenario, results would have already been called, and then of course that will give us some idea as to who is leading where, and then ultimately we can do an aggregate of who carries the day. Again, we need to reiterate that all results that must be taken seriously must come from the Independent National Electoral Commission. Social media is not the source of results announcements. All right, so let's take a break at this point. But before we take that break, let's talk a little about the issue of security of elections, regarding this process. When we have elections in Nigeria, there are concerns around whether people will be protected, right? Whether those who are manning the process or managing the process are protected. You have youth corpers, you have other ad hoc staff, you have INEC staff, the full-fledged staff, and so on and so forth. I've spoken to people about elections in this country. They say, look, if we want to be a serious country, there are several things we can do to push the frontiers regarding innovation with our electoral process. For example, they say there is no rule that says at this point in time Nigeria cannot conduct electronic elections. All right, there's no rule that says we cannot start elections before the D-Day. So the theory is, if you have election like in Osun scheduled for 15th of August, you can start voting 3 weeks before that day. So Moreno can take a break from work during lunchtime, go cast a vote and come back to work. So she's not going to have that excuse of, I'm a journalist, I can't vote on election day because I'm either in the studio the whole day or I'm on the field. So they say we can do all of this. And then others say, well, we can also vote electronically. We can transmit results electronically. Of course, you and I know the debates that led to where we are today since last year, which has not given rise or given birth to the 2026 edition of the Electoral Act. They say, well, we don't have enough internet. Internet is not, as it were, deeply entrenched yet in Nigeria. Therefore, we cannot guarantee that results can be transmitted electronically. We saw this series of protests at the National Assembly at the time. But today we have this piece of document called the Electoral Act 2026. This particular election in Osun State just now is a test of that extant law, as they call it.
I think concerning security, all our security personnels, all agencies have sent enough personnel to that state. So I think concerning security, they have done their best, because at the point in time, Nigerians were asking, so for these 2 days of pre-election and election day, are we going to manage the rest? How are we going to share the rest of the?
Because you have moved the bulk of the men to Osun.
Yes, I understand. As at yesterday, there were helicopters and drones. Just so, I think when it comes to security, Osun State has gotten enough attention, except if because they have stopped the state security within. Any security platform that has nothing to do with the federal government has been stopped. They said anyone that is seen doing that, taking responsibility of what the security agencies should do, will be arrested. So concerning security, I think it's they are making a headway. If like we said, the INEC, everyone is watching INEC now, because this election will reflect what will happen in 2027. So if it's still going on peacefully, we can only be hopeful that Nigeria will not happen to them, that they all end up in court eventually. So it's peaceful so far. We can only hope it continues, that by the end of the day we have a very good result, whereby there'll be handshakes, like Goodluck Jonathan's time. There'll be handshakes and congratulatory messages, rather than violence and going to courts in and out. So the results of this Osun election will say a lot to what's going to happen in 2027, concerning security, concerning INEC's preparation, concerning Nigerian citizens as a whole. Because I understand that some people do not still have their voter's card. So if INEC is transparent enough in this election, I think it will be something worth encouraging for Nigerians. There will be a ray of hope for Nigerians. So this is going to be a reflection, and we are hopeful it comes out at the end of the day. The results are good and fair and transparent.
Amazing. That's an amazing way to put it, because whether you like it or not, this election is very pivotal, especially given that, for many of the actors who are not even in the race, Osun is their home state, whether they are in the APC, in Labour, in ADC and NDC. And politicians are very futuristic. They can see Osun already as a precursor to 2027. So they may not necessarily have an immediate interest in this election, but they understand very fundamentally how this election is related to their political interest in 2027. Well, we're taking a break. When we return, our first guest will be with us on the program. Do stay with us.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Continue our live coverage here of the Osun State governorship election, where we understand the candidates, or at least most of them, have already voted. Cardinal amongst them is the governor, Ademola Adeleke of the Accord Party. This morning, we're joined by our first guest, who is a lawyer and a legal analyst, to help us look at not just these immediate electoral events happening in Osun, but our electoral process overall, especially given that we are in what we now know as a democracy. Barrister Muhammad Abdulaziz, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a pleasure to be here.
Amazing. I'd like us to begin with, I mean, you and I once at least had talked about the electoral process. We particularly had looked at the Electoral Act. And for many people, they said Ekiti and Osun gubernatorial elections will test this extant law, as it were. When you look over your shoulder now, what's your assessment as a lawyer?
Well, for me, I think the new Electoral Act, we are seeing in its manifestation. So far so good, and year in, year out, it has always been said that certain elections will serve as litmus test for the new administration, especially the INEC itself, for preparing for the next electoral year for the general elections. So it is true, and I agree with that assertion, that you have to measure the success or whatever is recorded in Osun and subsequently in Ekiti, and from there we'll be able to assess and see how prepared we are for the general elections. So looking back now, I think it's a good assertion, and INEC should sit up. Nigerians are watching, and just like you said, the democratic process is a collective thing. It's a collective thing where everybody serves as a watchdog to the dogman.
That's what makes it interesting. But then again, there's a little beyond that. You are a lawyer. You are very interested in constitutionality, all right, especially as it has to do with our governance system. But there's a challenge. Every election cycle, whether it's the general election or off-grid elections, seems to place an indictment on the judiciary, and that's very troubling in a democracy, especially. What are your thoughts in that regard?
Well, when you say there's always an indictment on the judiciary, I wouldn't know which angle you're talking about.
Because, for example, we finish an election, and then the next thing you know is, of course, many of those cases will end up at the tribunal, and then we'll move all the way up to the Supreme Court, in the case of the presidency, for example. And then you hear that, well, some of those cases were pre-election matters. Some of them are, within the political parties. I mean, the judiciary cannot intervene or interfere, blah, blah, blah. And then you see controversial judgments coming out from different courts of coordinate jurisdiction, and so on and so forth. So much of complications in the process. And the judiciary gets fingered as being a part of that problem. All
right. So for me, what my opinion is, and my position is that when the politicking starts as pre-election, towards the election time, talking about the party primaries, or if it is consensus candidate, and going to publication by INEC, and now going to the polls. You see, those dynamics are controlled by the political forces generally, and the electorates, the people who want to vote. So it's always out of the hands of the judiciary at that stage. Of course, usually what ends up in the courts as pre-election matters are, okay, so this candidate emerged, I'm supposed to emerge, and so it becomes a pre-election matter. And most of the candidates that approach the court, the law is there, our laws are there to enable a democratic process. So the ability for you to challenge the outcome of a primary, you're exercising your fundamental rights.
Right.
And when you approach the court to test or to seek reliefs as regards the primaries, I personally feel that there's nothing bad about it. However, just like I always said that the judicial system is a kind of system where we are more acquisitorial, not inquisitorial. So much so that it is which you present your case, the other party presents his case. Whoever tells a more compelling story, or whoever makes more sense, or whoever is able to marshal the law, and garnish it with his own case and fact, and present something more suitable to the judge is what he goes with. So regardless of whatever direction the judiciary goes, bear it at the back of your mind that people will still continue to criticize. People that feel slighted by the judgment or by the judicial pronouncement will criticize the judiciary. They will even try to attribute it, finger the judiciary that since you are aligning with so party. We have seen in the country before where the judiciary is on the side of maybe the political party, and we have seen where the judiciary is on the side of the candidates, or we have seen where the judiciary is on the side of the opposition, and where it is on the side of the ruling government. So whatever position the judiciary takes, definitely it will be open to criticism. And of course, people always have a right to appeal and get to the Supreme Court. Of course, and when it gets to the Supreme Court, it is final. Whatever the Supreme Court says, for me, I don't see it as something that is much of a big deal. I see it as something that is part of the democratic process. The fact that when a court gives an outcome, when there's an outcome from the judicial process, a person has a further right of appeal. I think for me, it's an interesting, and it's all part of it all comes at, a bundle, a democratic bundle. And that is what we are enjoying in the country. Although, is it good for the country? Is it bad for the country? We may never tell, because it is only, there's a saying that it's only those that try going far that gets to know how far they can go. We have seen what happened in the case of Uzodinma. We've seen what happened in Osun State, where somebody was already declared, and eventually the judicial judgment caught up with them.
We saw that in Bayelsa.
Yes, and so now that is principally why we have. It happened in Osun, of course. We have several off-grid elections. Yes, off-grid election, and that is what happened in Osun. So it's quite very interesting, and something I call a jurisprudential, dynamics at play.
Yeah. I asked that question because you see, of course, you are a bona fide member of the Nigerian Bar Association. Your association, not too long ago, the leadership of the NDA said, look, lawyers should not take briefs that border on internal affairs of political parties. At that time, I spoke with lawyers on television and off television, and they said, look, the NBA, with all the respect we have for the association, cannot determine for lawyers individually what briefs they can take and what briefs they can't take. Because as lawyers, your first understanding is that everyone has a right of hearing, everyone has a right to be represented by a lawyer. Therefore, whether it's internal or otherwise, within the party or a political entity, we have the right to take up those briefs. At that time, as a lawyer who is also a member of the association, what were your sentiments?
Yeah, well, my sentiments at the time was that the new Electoral Act did envisage something like this. There's something called ouster clause. The Electoral Act of 2026 did made some provisions with regards to internal political parties that the courts will not have jurisdiction, and so on and so forth. I think this is coming as a form of improvement on what we have, and we are learning from the past. In the past, you see, the court is inundated during election matters, and these are sui generis cases that have limited number of time. Once you file the matter, you have 6 months to complete it. So it's always very, very dicey. Is it 6 months or 3 months?
3 months, yeah.
30 months, yes, 90 days to complete it. So it's kind of mounts a lot of pressure on the judiciary, and so over time it has been reviewed, and most of these cases usually ends up being internal political parties, and the courts, even the Supreme Court has said the courts have no business dabbling into the affairs of political parties. The only time and the only place when the court can come in is when there is non-compliance, substantial non-compliance with the party constitution, the Electoral Act, and the
guidelines by
yes, and the guidelines. And so, for me, I still feel that those briefs will still come because anybody can say, I have a right of action. This is not an internal political party. There's non-compliance. So everybody is trying to hide their pre-election matter under the guise of non-compliance with the electoral guidelines, the constitution, the party rule guidelines, the INEC guidelines. So for me, I really felt indifferent because I know that so to say, it's not trying. They are not. NBA is not trying to cripple or restrict or abridge the right of individuals to air their view. Because whenever you feel slighted, whenever you feel that your rights have been breached by the party, you always have a right to seek redress. So it is now left for the party to say, hey, this is internal democracy. And so at that point, I think you can hands off. But it is only those that try going far that gets to know how far they can go.
I want us to narrow down this conversation to Osun State now. You were part of the legal team that went to court on behalf of Osun State government. Is that correct?
That's very correct.
Regarding the freeze that was placed on one of the statutory accounts of the state government at that time. When that happened, just days to this election, first of all, as a Nigerian, how did you, what was your first instinctive response to that sort of action by the EFCC?
For me, the first response was that this is more political and not even legal. Because you cannot call it a coincidence that that is coming up just a few days to the election. It's the president described it as an embarrassment.
Right.
And I made bold to say it is nothing but an embarrassment. The EFCC really, really dropped the ball this time around. Well, we have approached the court and, just before the president came out to say, give a directive for them to reverse the same, we are saying that the EFCC, of course, if you have a community reading of the EFCC Act and the MLA, particularly the Section 7 of the Money Laundering Act, you will see that there is a need for court order. It will have been a different story if the state or First Bank was served with a court order. But in this case, there was no court order that was served.
But the story out in the public was that the EFCC had duly obtained a very bona fide court order to freeze the account.
Till today, I've not seen a copy of that order. Till today, I've not seen a copy of that order. It's just said.
So as a lawyer, would you say that was a rascally move by the commission?
It is. Just like I said, it's nothing short of an embarrassment on the commission. The commission is always one of those top-notch agency that will feel that there is hope for the country. But in the case of Osun State, it's quite embarrassing. I wouldn't know what the motive behind it is. It is too coincidental that it is close to the electoral cycle. It is close to just few days to the election. And what is more curious is that this account that was frozen, no money comes into the account except it is from the federal government. So what exactly are you what funds are you suspecting to be used for corruption?
But are we saying that the allegations advanced by the EFCC were totally baseless?
It is. It is, as far as we are concerned. You see, you cannot a state account. And the state account is a statutory account that only monies that get into that account is the money coming from the federal. So if you have suspicion that funds are being moved, why not follow the money?
Rather than freeze the account?
Yes. It is more desirable that you follow the money, you follow the trail and freeze the account where the money went to instead of where you think it's supposed to go.
Instead of the source account?
Yes.
Well, I think we need to take a break at this point. We understand that we're getting feeds from Osun State. Again, this time we're looking at several developments unfolding all at the same time across the polling units and local governments in that southwestern state of Nigeria. We're back shortly with the rest of this analysis with my guests. Please do stay with us.
now see the action within her, which is also causing intra-court related. You will see them killing themselves as if it is clothing.
Don't worry, we'll scan you, please. We'll scan you, please. Because of the time.
All right, let's begin to, okay, just to give you an idea, a while ago you saw footage there of quite a number of things going on at the same time in the state. Some people obviously looking at some sort of posts on a notice board, apparently trying to be sure if they were at the right polling units. Then, of course, just to be properly guided. Besides that, you also realize that, okay, well, apparently what you see on the screen now is accreditation going on. All right. Obviously, that's the beavers being used for this exercise. The governor there casting his votes. The governor has had his own fair share, maybe a little more than a fair share of controversies. He has been beaten black and blue too, like many of the other candidates in this election. He will share his thoughts after casting his votes here, and then of course that will also give an insight as to what's happening in this area. A bit of infographics on the screen for you, just to provide some more insights. 1,234,769 accredited voters for this election. That's part of the data coming out from the Independent National Electoral Commission. But it says that total registered voters, 2,339,223. Female 52.8%, male 47.2%. So women carry the day again here. And then it goes further down to show you what the numbers are. Women are significantly ahead of men in that regard. Then PWD distribution 8,021. And then of course you have the different categories there. Those who are hearing impaired, visually impaired, and so on and so forth. And then you also have the numbers brilliantly analyzed in percentage. So these are all elements giving you a clearer picture of what the election is like in Osun State. Evidently, these figures came out from the Independent National Electoral Commission. But one of the concerns that Nigerians always have is, in the end, these figures do not match with the outcome, do not match with the realities on the ground. But it's good that we have the figures. We can't plan, we can't move forward as a people without having data like this to drive conversations and to help understand where there are gaps that need to be filled. Again, this is another polling unit. You see voters there waiting to take their turns to cast their ballots. We see security men there, NSCDC, the Nigeria Police Force, are doing their bit to ensure that this whole exercise turns out as hitch-free as possible. Just to also let you know, we'll be bringing you our news stream at midday Nigerian time here. Of course, as expected, the bulk of the stories will revolve around this election in Osun State. Let's now return to our live studio, where my guest, Barrister Abdulaziz Mohammed, is with us to look at some of these issues going forward. Barrister, I'd like to talk to you about the judicial, if you like, the legal aspect of elections in Nigeria. I've spoken to several political analysts, some of them lawyers like you. They say, look, whether our elections or our democracy in itself will survive or not, the bulk of the work is not in the hands of the political actors or their political parties. It is in the hands of lawyers. In fact, some of them have even alluded to the possibility that lawyers are, as it were, complicit in some of the anomalies we have seen with our electoral process in this regard. As they say in court, how do you plead?
Definitely guilty as charged. The system truly, it's really dependent on a good law,
right,
or a good legal system is going to aid the development of that system. And so when our laws are put together in such a way that it aids democracy, it makes it easy for the electorates to exercise their rights easily. It makes it easy for those who are seeking to be elected to get elected to the post they want and defend their mandates. It speaks to the quality of the judicial system. And for us in Nigeria, I would still say we are still developing.
Right.
And as a developing nation, we'll continue to exhibit the symptoms of a developing nation, where there won't be too much instability, and so the judicial system is still trying to find a foot. But just like I said earlier, the Electoral Act, the recent Electoral Act, is a good step is a right step in the right direction, and I'm seeing that this Osun State election becomes a litmus test. The subsequent ones become a litmus test, and subsequently we'll see that there will be development. So it's more of a collective responsibility. Let the politicians do their own part. Let the lawyers do their own bit. Let the system, the judicial system, the judges to do their own bits. And we're beginning to see that as we work hand in hand, we'll continue to see that our system is growing and is becoming more and more efficient.
Have you ever been bothered, and to what extent, for instance, about this vote buying phenomenon that has come to sadly characterize our electoral process?
Well, vote buying as it is, of course, we know it is illegal, but it has become the reality, our reality in this part of the world, because it appears that there's so much suffering in the land, and the politicians actually know how to use that as a tool to gain power. And so when it is electioneering time, they are closer to their people. They do all sorts of empowerments. They do all sorts of, campaign, medical outreach, youth empowerment, and so on, women empowerment, and so on and so forth. And you see, what it also, shows that there is really, really suffering in this land, because if people are ready and willing to take meager sum and take a meager sum, do the bidding of the politician, and suffer for the next 4 years. I think it's a conscious decision,
right?
And there's a form of cognitive illusion behind it, with the illusion of, okay, let me just take this after I've not eaten, or so the vote buying thing has become so deeply entrenched that I don't see us getting rid of it anytime soon, actually, because it's so deep. It's something that is very, very, very deep. I tell you, there is suffering in the land, and just like they say, the rich knows how to exploit so that the poor gets poorer and the rich gets richer on their backs.
Before we take another break, I want to ask you about opposition as it stands today. We understand there's a certain body now called G100. They say their ultimate objective is to see a situation where political parties on the opposition side can form or forge a common front against the ruling party, which is the APC. In fact, they had already scheduled a kind of, if you like, a town hall for Tuesday, but by 48 hours ago, we understand it has been moved to sometime towards the end of August. As it stands today, what we have in Nigeria at best, just to put it mildly, it's more like a depleted opposition. And we have seen that happen in Osun State as well. How do we build a viral opposition, not just to talk down whatever it is that the ruling party is doing, but to be able to challenge the ruling party to deliver more of the goods for the people?
Yes, you see, our opposition in Nigeria is usually more of talk shop. It's more of something that is not so deep, because there is selfish interest. There are so many dynamics. There are so many dynamics that are happening behind the scene. So we don't have a formidable opposition in the country. And I'm hoping that, you see, the G100 thing that recently came up, we are hoping that we'll see, we are waiting. Nigerians want to see what they can do. But opposition, as it were, in the country, we all know that what is about, castigating the ruling party, every policy, and not really, apart from that, not really putting the materials where they are supposed to show some workings. Where they are supposed to do that. For this kind of conversation, I think we need to borrow a leaf or two from the Europeans, or the Europeans, or in the United States. We see how they do it. The opposition gives the government of the day a run for their money. So if opposition just wins a few seats, they make sure that those seats that they win, they try their best, use it to, and 100% of the influence of that seat, they use it and mount pressure on the ruling party. So opposition, as it is in this country, is because I want to become this, I want to become that, and because I didn't get a ticket in this party, I'm jumping to the next party. That one too, there's a leadership problem, I'm jumping to the next available one. It's just it's just a bandwagon thing, and it's not really making sense. As far as I'm concerned, we don't have a very good and formidable opposition system in Nigeria, and I'm hoping that the narrative will change, because in recent time we are beginning to see a certain level of political consciousness that we have not seen in the past, especially with the use of social media now. I am hoping that all those conversations that takes place on the social media we're able to, show up for it and put our money where our mouths are on the social media.
All right, well, that's a beautiful place to leave it quickly at this point. Everyone, we're taking another break now. When we return, we'll delve deeper into the developments in the Osun governorship election, where things are already jumping off at this point in time. We do encourage you to stay with us here as this special coverage of Osun State governorship election 2026 continues, and at top of the hour midday Nigerian time, we have news stream for you. Don't go away.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on NightComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on NightComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Well, thank you for staying with us, everyone, once again. Now, let's look at two things quickly before we let my guest off on this segment of the program. Barrister Abdulaziz, I want to talk to you about ideology with regards to political parties. Of course, you made an allusion to that in passing just a while ago. But can we continue these razzmatazz around our elections and then we don't have substance? I mean, look at the spate of defections between last year and this year. See the number of governors who practically moved from the APC, from the PDP to the APC. Of course, in the case of Kano, the gentleman moved from the NNPP into the APC. Something many had said would never be possible, but today the rest is history. To that extent, can we say we have political parties driven by ideology, or we just have a bunch of political special purpose vehicles?
I agree with you. That is, I agree with the latter. I think it's just political special vehicle. Yeah, SPVs, special project vehicles. We are not really, from the spate of things, we're not really serious about politics. We're not really serious about moving this country forward, because at the end of the day, it is all about personal interest. It is all about personal interest, personal gain, personal, selfishness, selfish interest. You don't really see, people don't really have people at heart when it comes, our politicians, I'm sorry to say, just very few of them do have the genuine interest to serve. Most of them are there for their own selfish interest, and that is why you see them rigmarole from here to here, from right to left, from left to center. So it's really a messed up system where we don't have, that is what is making us not have political stability. There are people that have moved from as far as up to 7, 6, 5 political parties in the space of just last 4 years, from one party to another party. Of course, as much as we want to say it, we're enjoying it, it's a democratic thing. As much as we want to say that it's actually been democratic, we should begin to circumspect that what are the motives behind all these actions and inactions by a political party. And the country as it is currently, it has the government of the day has been criticized that they are also stifling opposition. Well, if the opposition has not put themselves in that position to be stifled, they won't have been stifled, because if the opposition is formidable, it will have been very easy, it will have been very hard for any government of the day to break them or to break their spirit. But when you see that there's always a selfish interest, all the government of the day needs to do is to appeal to certain interests, to be able to pull strings. When I believe you will know that some of those things that happen within the opposition, there are strings being pulled. And as we are suspecting that it might be by the government of the day, it's actually possible. What we are saying at the end of the day is that let us have a good democratic system. Let our leaders, the quality of our leaders, let them be called to serve. Let them, the zeal to serve should be what they are projecting to the public, and not the zeal to serve their respective personal or selfish interests.
Interesting. On a final note, let's talk about money and our elections. Is it your opinion that our elections are over-monetized in Nigeria? They say democracy is expensive, so where do we draw the line?
Yes, it is. I agree with that. I can't fight that assertion. It's hugely monetized, because for everything you do politically, you have to invest huge sums of money. I have seen people who become very bankrupt because they are tempted to contest for one seat or the other. People make money in the city, they are doing their business, then someone comes, pull their strings and say, hey, come and contest for so and so. just at the primaries level, the person
Right.
did not even get the ticket, but he has finished all the money. He doesn't have money. He becomes on debt. He's now having so many debts. I've seen so many of it happen. Not once, not twice, not several numbers of times. I've even had colleagues, friends, clients alike who have been in this kind of situation. And this current electoral dispensation that we are now is still at the end of the day, at the end of the next between now and the next electoral cycle, you see some people will become broke. People that are doing well for themselves because they went and put themselves in politics. So we can't really fight that assertion. Really, democracy is expensive. The political or the politicking and the political process is really, really money centric. And so if there's no money, you can't really enjoy politics, so to say.
Interesting. I just think I should add some icing to this cake by asking you about Osun again, because that's what we started from a while ago. The president says, look, this election must be credible. The president says people and materials must be secured. What's your opinion in that regard? I mean, the president is a stakeholder in this election, one way or another.
Yes, because the interest of the president is there too, and it must be secured. So for me, I'm hoping that the electoral process in Osun is as credible as it can be, is as credible as we hope it to be. It's been in the past few weeks and days leading up to today, we have seen how toxic and how torrent the political atmosphere is in Osun. But at the end of the day, Salus Populi Suprema Lex.
Right.
The voice of the people is the supreme law. And the voice of the people is the voice of God. We are hoping and I'm full of faith that the will of the people, the will of the electorates in Osun will come to pass, and not the will of someone somewhere who is now, pulling strings. But I am very confident and I'm hopeful that the will of the people will be done in Osun State.
Barrister Muhammad Abdulaziz, thank you for coming on the program. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's take a quick break. It's just minutes away from our first round of live news broadcast here on Skyline News today. Just to remind you that we've been talking with Barrister Abdulaziz Muhammad, who is a legal practitioner and a legal analyst, to help us expand the conversation around developments in Osun State. After the news, our special coverage of this election continues here on Skyline News. Please do stay with us.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on MyComSat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
You can watch Skyline News on Nightcomsat and Free TV. Stay connected wherever you are by streaming us live on the Free TV app, available for both iOS and Android devices via the App Store and Google Play. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Skyline TV News for breaking news, updates, and exclusive content. For more information, visit www.skylinetv.ng. Skyline News, beyond the headlines.
Watch Skyline News on
On authority information that there is one police officer that they brought to come and do an active job, the APC Osun, from Port Harcourt. They call his nickname London. He's here in Ede hiding. His own job is to come and destroy Ede and then avoid so that he can scare people, shooting, so that they will not vote. So I'm calling the Inspector General of Police to take note. I'm calling all the security agencies to take note. They should redeploy him. We don't want him in Osun. We don't want violence in Osun. All we want is free and fair election so that people can perform their civic duty.
So you just cast your ballot on the assessment about the process so far.
Authority information that there is one police officer that they brought to an active job, the APC Osun, from Port Harcourt. They call his nickname London. He's here in Ede hiding. His own job is to come and destroy Ede and then avoid so that he can scare people, shooting, so that they will not vote. So I'm calling the Inspector General of Police to take note. I'm calling all the security agencies to take note. They should redeploy him. We don't want him in Osun. We don't want violence in Osun. All we want is free and fair election so that people can perform their civic duty. That's one. And two, the pattern of voting should be from units to wards and to local government. Not that they take local government collation straight to state capital. That is not acceptable. That's a form of wickedness. And I urge on the authority that the ABC trying to read have some fake ballot papers. I want us to watch out for that. And then we don't accept that. I will not accept that in Osun. Right now, as I'm voting right now, I've just received a call in Modakeke and Obago that police is aiding them to tear gas them so that people can run away. And people are resolute. They just want to perform their civic duty. Let the security agency please be neutral and watch it. But I can assure you, at the end of the day, I have God on my side and I have my people on my side.
Your Excellency, you have just voted. The process has just begun. What's your assessment?
I've already told you. I've already told you. I said so far so good. It will be peaceful. In my area here, I hope it's like that cut across. But it's not peaceful in Modakeke and of course in Obago. The police are aiding the APC to tear gas people so that they will not vote. They took the ballot box around the way. So we have already reported this to the security agencies. I hope they do something so that it will not turn Osun State into war zone. Thank you.
Party agents, and we did. How I don't understand how and why the party agent will not be given tag. So it's one part of the process. So if at the end of the day we do not have this, then the process is very questionable. And for now, I will be silent on it. See when we come to the end of the whole exercise.
However, sir, are you confident that you win this election?
Oh, it used to be a free and fair election with no rigging, manipulation, a level playing ground. I trust my God that I'm going to win the election.
Thank you very much.
Sir, finally, sir, someone questioned that at your own polling units, they had to arrest people buying votes.
Here, well, you are just coming. Definitely, it cannot be my party. We are not into that. We canvass for the people, we let them know our programs, and that is what we do. Vote buying is out of it. I have never in my life buy votes. People will decide whom they want, and I think it should be very fair enough for them to have the right to choose whom they prefer as a candidate or as a governor of the state, instead of going through the number of billions and dollars that have been rolling in the state for a while. It's a lot, and it's worrisome and disturbing, and it's a threat to democracy. Democracy is supposed to give room for people to choose their representative freely, without intimidation, harassment, or inducement. Why do we need to induce the voters because we want to rule? Are you sure of yourself? Are you coming with the program that are very good for the people? I think people will judge me based on my program, manifesto, and what I want to deliver for the state. Definitely my party is not involved in vote buying.
If you do win, and how would you carry the people who didn't vote for you? How would you carry them along to push it forward?
I'm to govern the whole state. There won't be difference between who votes and who did not vote. Don't forget, some people are even at home. They did not even come out at all. They are to be under the governance of the state. So there won't be any difference. I will rule generally over everybody that lives in the state.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Yes.
Trying to make a mess of the electoral process itself. It's not about the people. The people will do their part. Whether they are induced to do it, whether they're doing it voluntarily, they will come out and vote anyway, as long as the atmosphere. So it has nothing to do with 2077 or 1999. People will always come out to vote if the atmosphere is conducive. And it's not their business, it's not their duty to produce and provide a conducive atmosphere. That is the duty of the government. And that seems to have been done in Osogbo at least today. So the people will cast their vote. The people will cast their vote in 2027. People will always cast their vote as long as the environment is conducive.
One of the only concern that we have had, Mr. Osun, is the percentage of voters per number of PVCs that have been collected. For this election, for instance, we have more than 1.9 million PVCs that have been collected. But then part of the people who are in the process of this election are the contenders themselves. And we all understand that the ADC candidate in this election has also gone out to cast his vote. And that's him walking in there to cast his vote. Sometime a little while ago, he has done that to go ahead and cast his vote. There are those who have indicated that, Mr. Adrojaye, that if if the election is going to go as we expect, the political act particularly in their domains and among their supporters, for their supporters to ensure that the environment is secure. Do threat analysis usually cover that aspect?
Yes, it does. The first advice I will give is that each political party should do internal cleansing with respect to what how the member represent them. Maybe 2 days ago, we had somebody who issued out a threat, and it was a national issue. You see, I think the wording says charity begins at home. By the time you sensitize your members, regardless of the position, regardless of the hierarchy, we will have less of these threats and then risk, because I need to confirm to you, there are a lot of threats and risks in this election. It's the most volatile election. Build up to this election wasn't as easy as I thought, despite the police putting in place structures to mitigate some areas. We still have a whole lot of things. Look at what we had now. Yes, I agree with. Yes, I agree that issue of vote buying is a background thing, but to the extent that some guys are still able to pull out some people in this abnormal situation, is uncalled for. Is uncalled for.
Well, so it's as far as some people are concerned, that is still an allegation.
Yeah.
You know, because if you say that the money was vote buying, how come it came from your pocket?
Yes.
Yes, it's an allegation.
An observer actually sent that status. Oh, where is the accused? Somebody brought out the money from their pocket. So I mean.
Exactly. It's an allegation.
Yeah.
It's an allegation. But unfortunately, camera was there looking at whether it is an allegation or not. Something is happening, and we are not happy about it.
Okay.
And this is where the political parties should be very, very careful. I wonder the leadership of that very party being accused, how the leadership will feel as we speak.
Well, we won't stop talking about it.
Yes, certainly. I must say this to you, right? This the issue of vote buying is one thing, but I think it has taken the different dimensions. Now, what we see ahead of elections, we'll see an empowerment schemes of sorts, where they empower political parties or the people.
I think the commencement of poll also started on time, and that is a credit to INEC, and that has made the atmosphere to be the way it is. It's electrifying, but it's also very peaceful.
Yeah, so earlier on when the incumbent Governor Ademola Adeleke exercised his franchise, we observed that the Beavers machine couldn't capture him on time. And that's what some voters here have also raised concern about, the functionality of the Beavers machine. I don't know if in your observation, in your going round, if you've observed anything about that and what you have to say about the efficiency of the Beavers.
Well, from our observation, I think the Beavers is functioning effectively. But I remember that in a polling unit, we got to where a voter could not be captured. And when we look at, we discover that from the explanation of the officials, the Beaver, the candidate, the voter did not have dada on his head when it was captured. And now it's coming with dada. So there were attempts to cover the dada by bringing a cap. And the Beaver also detected that cap as not part of the original picture. So some of those things were noticed. And that is also good that in going forward, there is need for those who may have captured themselves when they were quite young to also visit the commission again for updating. Because you may not have grown beards, you may not have had some of the features you have now when you were captured. And you now come, only the Beaver will now look at two different persons. That of the governor, I may not really say, but since he was eventually captured, it also means that there may have been some delays in verifying. Because the thing is that when your face is presented either officially or through your card, there have to be some verification. And sometimes you have delay in verifying. If they're happy that finally the governor was finally verified and captured.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Anidi, for your observation, and we do appreciate your comments.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. So that's it. We're still here on ground. We're still monitoring, but let's just get some shots of what's happening there as the cameraman tries to bring us how the process is going on. You can see these are voters. If the cameraman can just raise his camera up, you'll be able to see the long queue of voters spanning several meters away from the voting point. You can also see that some of them have been here, elderly people, young people, women. We're still in Ede, and particularly, as I said earlier, this is Unit 1, Alajue Street in Ede South, with total registered voters of 869 who are here. So we'll bring you more as it goes. Now it's back to you in the studio.